moving on to item number 6. Public hearing, community development block grant. Mr. Gale.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. It's a pleasure to be before you this evening to hold a public hearing and hopefully adopt our 5-year consolidated plan and our 1-year action plan. At our last meeting, I gave a presentation describing basically what we've done under the process to put this together. Katrina out of the Development Services Department and a consultant, Carol Stewart, have helped put this together. This evening, I can answer any questions you might have, but would ask that you hold a public hearing, take any comments, and then adopt the resolution as described in the staff report. So at this time, I can answer any questions. I can go through my presentation, whatever you'd like to do, Mr. Mayor.
Are there any questions of council? No questions. All right. Open up the public hearing. Invite anyone from the public who wish to speak on this item to step to the podium. Seeing none, close the public hearing. Bring it back to the council.
The Mayor.
Yes.
Not having been able to be here last meeting, I missed your wonderful presentation, but I did kind of go through this document a bit and have a few just comments of basically what my position and my personal priorities would be based upon past experience at the county, and then also trying to relate what I know to the city. And going over this, I've basically categorized them the way what I like to be first. And I would like really, we keep having trouble with affordable housing. It isn't available. If you have a shortage of affordable housing, the housing that lower income housing that is there tends to degrade. They don't get taken care of as well because people aren't saying, well, I'm going to go get the same, a nicer place for the same price. So that is a problem that I think that we have in Yuba City at this time due to the fact that we haven't built any new complexes in 10, 11 years. And so that's a long time to not have built apartment complexes or large amounts of homes. So construction of new affordable housing would be a very high priority, which is I don't think these are listed as priority on here, but on page 2. But that's the lowest one on there, or the bottom one. Number 2 of economic development, business assistance. Very important that we help our businesses in any way we can. Sometimes it's to get out of the way. And I know of a couple instances to where things didn't go smoothly, but I know that once the staff became aware of it, upper staff, they have straightened it out and very smooth from then on, and good accomplishment. I want to compliment the staff for having done that, stepped in so quickly and doing a good job. Number 3, homeless assistance. I know in this document there's a lot of talk about homelessness, transit type situations. I have been an attendee of the Homeless Consortium for quite a few years, almost since its beginning about 6 years ago when it became a real solid entity. And many of the concerns that the citizens have brought forward to them have been taken care of. They did address many of them. But with, of course, some of the changes down the river bottoms, it brought many of those things back to the surface again that we're having to deal with, since they don't have as many hiding places in the river bottoms. So we're going to be dealing a lot with that, but the homelessness there. I will say that through that process, the ones that don't want to be homeless are not homeless, but the ones that don't mind being somewhat homeless, they're still in the situation. That's not 100% the case, but our community does a phenomenal job of dealing with the displacement of people from their homes and taking them into their homes. Those are called precariously housed, and they're included into the list basically as homeless. But our community does a phenomenal job of that. As it states, 50 organizations deal with all this, dealing with those types of things: food, clothing, transportation, housing, health, mental health, taking care of their animals, make sure that they're okay. So I really commend our community for doing this task and not shoveling it off to the government to have to do it, because then it's extremely expensive, and we have to do it in a way that becomes very offensive to the freedoms that were afforded in the Constitution. So if our community takes care of them, it becomes a way to where we do it according to our freedoms and liberties. And so phenomenal job again with the community. Number 4 I'm looking at here, it's kind of a combination of the neighborhood revitalization strategy and assist with public housing needs. That goes along the same line I was just talking about. That is my number 4 priority. 5, infrastructure improvement and ADA modifications. Of course, we're kind of forced to do some of that anyway by regulatory process, so that kind of would be in the middle naturally. 6, the minor home repairs and ADA modifications. A lot of those home repairs actually keep senior citizens in their homes, and the ADA improvements do that. My father-in-law over in, I think it was Lyndhurst, he lived in a mobile home park, and a group went in there and made him a ramp that he was able to stay in a home, his mobile home, for many years longer because they came in and helped him out with that. So he benefited from that type of a thing. And there are a lot of that goes on in our community. My wife and I modified the entrance to her business because of people having difficulty going up just 3 steps, little tiny steps. So we've done that personally. So that is a priority, to keep senior citizens in their home, or people that have ADA accessibility difficulties. 7, preservation of existing affordable housing stock. I've served on the Housing Authority for a long time. I think we've brought it from just a squatting type situation, and it is actually upper mobility. Many of the times they're moving up and getting out. We have people that go to school, they graduate from a program, and they actually have an escrow account. They collect money, or they get a contribution to that from the housing from a program. And when they get out, they'll have anywhere from $4,000 to $9,000. One lady actually put it as a down payment on a little tiny home, and she's now no assistance of any kind. And that's the kind of program we have there. And I think we've done very well, but we need to preserve those housing. And a lot of that is, if we get new construction in there, that forces others to take better care to keep people in their places. So that's a motivator for them. And so that is a way to get basically 2 birds with 1 stone, hopefully.
In the essence of time, could you just
Yes.
speed through this, please?
Well, I wasn't
did
here
this
last.
at
I
the last
understand
meeting,
that,
so-
but hey, I understand. Public facilities would be 8. The construction and modification only because, unfortunately, that's where the finances are. It keeps us from being able to do the public facilities, and funding available for that is much more difficult to get a hold of. So those were, just wanted to make comments on those primary priorities that I would prefer to have, and where I would like to see discussion and action on in the future.
Thank you. All right. Any other further comments? Entertain a motion to adopt a resolution on this.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have one abstention. So